Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day so far. First of all, how cute is my mug? It's from the Little Spook Shop. I will leave it linked down below. But how cute is it? It's death before decaf. I love it and it's warming my soul. So this video wasn't actually planned. Basically, I've wanted to do different things on my channel for a while now. I've wanted to try and explore different things that interest me, and one of those things is spooky stuff, is ghosts, paranormal, urban legends, things like that. I spend a lot of my time when I'm working on my little shop and stuff watching other people's YouTube videos. One of my favourite things is when Jenna and Julian do their podcast. They do sort of spooky stuff. I absolutely love it. I love when Mikey from Glam and Gore goes exploring all over the place, different haunted locations. I love it. It's always been something that's interested me for as long as I can remember. And recently I have been obsessed with Loie here on YouTube. Obviously she reads scary stuff, she reads people's experiences, people's stories. She does loads of different things. That's obviously freaky, but then there's something really calming and soothing about her tone of voice. I've just loved binge watching her videos, and that kind of confirmed to me a series that I've wanted to do for a while. So I wanted to basically explore some scary stories, some urban legends, and do kind of like a little series on my channel. I actually reached out on Instagram and a lot of people responded. I basically asked if people had had sort of paranormal, ghost slash spooky experiences happen to them or loved ones or people they're close to, and if they would be willing to share those stories or send them to me and basically let me read them out on my channel. So that was the plan. I wanted that to be my first video in the series of reading out people's stories, sort of kicking off a ghost kind of thing. So I basically asked, have you ever had a paranormal experience or anything ghost or spooky related happen to you or a loved one? And quite a lot of people answered, and I had 61% say yep and 39% said nope, I'm good so far, just like that. And then I had quite a lot of people message me their kind of experiences and their stories. I've got a lot of scary stories to read out. However, that is now going to be video number 2 in this kind of little series because something weird happened to me today. I am a believer in kind of paranormal, I guess. I do think there is something else out there. Whether or not it is a ghost who is in the full form of a person, I'm not sure. And the older I get, the more, not more of a more of a skeptic I become, but the more I want to find a logical explanation for it. I want proof. So yeah, and also my boyfriend is a skeptic. He doesn't believe in anything like that. He's like, nope, there's an explanation, there has to be. And I think obviously spending more time with him, obviously it kind of rubs off on you. I haven't had anything weird, bizarre or paranormal activity kind of vibe happen to me in quite a while. I feel like when I was younger a lot more things happened, which I could potentially get into in the future if people wanted to know. There's not been anything really that's happened, and since moving into our home here in Norfolk, nothing really weird has gone on. We do live in a really old little cottage. It gets hella dark at night and it can be a little bit spooky, but that is just because you're in the middle of fields, it's dark, and it's an old house. But I've never had any really bad vibes here. I've never felt completely uncomfortable here, apart from when I freak myself out. So yeah, nothing's really happened in a while. And I've been watching scary stuff recently. I've been watching a hell of a lot of Loie, like I've just said. So I don't know if this has just happened because I don't know, I'm kind of in the mindset of spooky stuff. I don't know if it's just a weird coincidence or what. I went to the farm today and I just got on with what I usually do. So I usually do whatever the people who own the farm want me to do that day or that week or whatever, and there has been a specific room I've been working in and I've just been sorting through some stuff. I've been in that room now for a few weeks, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, and I actually Snapchatted what happened to like my boyfriend and my close friend and stuff because it was weird and it freaked me out quite a bit. However, I didn't save those clips. I considered it at first, but I wanted to respect the owners of the farm. I wanted to respect their privacy. It is their property. I didn't really want to be uploading footage to YouTube. Yeah, so I didn't keep those videos and it wasn't really that relevant at the time. I I'm basically working in a room which is attached to an office on one side, and then on the other side it used to also be a similar kind of room, but all the way around is old stables which were converted into cattle stables, but now they don't get used. They don't get used at all, and it's mostly just for storage. So the room I'm in it has 2 glass double doors, like open like this, and 2 windows on the side. And today, I will be honest, it is an extremely windy day and it has been quite stormy. I've never had any bad vibes working in this room on the farm, anything, so I was just getting on with what I was doing, and I was basically facing the wall, and on the other side of the wall is the office, and the entrance door is on this side, so my right side, but further that way. Great at explaining. And I am crouched down. I don't even know what I was doing. I think I was either moving something or brushing something up, and I didn't hear anything. Even though it's windy outside, I didn't hear anything. And I just want to note as well, because it gets quite dusty in there, there's a lot of old stuff in there that I'm working through. I like to keep the doors open, get some air in there, ventilation, even if it is a bit cold. So I'd unlocked both doors. If I'm looking out towards the doors, this door I had wedged open with a massive plastic box which was full of, I don't know what they call them, I'm going to call them bangers, we'll call them bangers. They're basically what hunters use it sets off a bang, scares the birds. Yeah, so it's quite heavy, and I wedged the box in between sort of, I don't know, I wedged it basically so the door couldn't close. So even if the wind aggressively was banging against it, the box was wedged there so it couldn't close. It just banged straight back against the box, and that box wasn't moving. However, this door was sort of free to close, open, whatever. So there was obviously a bit of breeze coming in, but wind because it was windy. However, I am working away in this corner, and to the back wall there is an old, it's not stable door, it's just an old door, an old cottage barn door, whatever, which then leads out. It's like an alleyway where you could get behind the stables, and there's only one way in apart from that door, and in front of that door is a couch, is boxes of stuff. I hadn't yet moved any of that stuff. However, the owner of the farm and I, a few weeks ago, so when he took me into this room and said like, this is what I'd like to start clearing through, he also was showing me sort of around, just that's what I do, whatever I'm doing that week, he sort of shows me this is this, this is the other. So say I'm now outside, I'm now looking into the room that I'm going into. There is a stable door entrance to the left. If you go through the stables to the back, there is another door. You go through that door, that takes you to the alleyway. However, we made sure those doors were sort of bolted down. They are quite old, heavy doors. They do stick. So once they're closed, they're not easily going to come open. So yeah, that door wasn't bothering me at all. So like I said, I'm doing my work. I then turn around and that door is wide open. So I'm looking at it, there is a couch, loads of bits around it, so you can only sort of see the top half of the door, and it is wide open. See, that alleyway is not pitch black because there's glass windows on the other side, but these aren't used rooms. They're currently sort of vacant, they're just used as storage, and the only person that goes in there really is me. Yeah, so whether, I don't know, I just stopped. I just stood there staring at it, like with a dustpan in my hand, like I had 1,000 thoughts going through my head. I was like, how? I'm pretty sure me and the owner locked that the other week, or like not locked it but closed it, made sure it was closed. There was nothing behind there, no one has access around here. Who would have been around there to sort of unwedge it anyway? I definitely didn't hear it open, but then at the same time I was just like, how? I just stood there staring at it. And at that time it was still windy, it was still breezy, but there was no excessive amount of wind coming through the door. So yeah, I just stood there a bit shocked and a bit scared, but I was trying to make a logical explanation out of it. I had to take rubbish out anyway, so I picked up a bin bag, went out of the doors, so the open door is now behind me. What's out of the doors, the box is still there wedging the door in, and went round to my left, which is where the office is. And I'm gonna, for privacy reasons and just to respect people, I'm gonna say Sarah, who works in the office, we'll call her Sarah. I was like, Sarah, I am scared. And I basically explained to her what had just happened, and she was like, how bizarre. And I didn't really know what to say. And then she offered to make me a hot drink, and I was like, right, I'm gonna go and take this rubbish out. So I then went to the side door of the office, which isn't near the other room, and went round to the bins. And while I was putting stuff in the bins, this is now on the other side of where that little alley is, where the windows are. I was like, I'm just gonna have a look in to see if I can see anything. Couldn't see anything because they're kind of covered in cobwebs and dirt and stuff, and was like, can't see anything. And it was really, really bothering me. I walked back round the office, and I didn't go in through the side door back to see Sarah. I went back round to the back entrance of the office and to where I was working, to then see that the double doors to the entrance to the room I was working in were completely closed, and the box in front of it was moved, as in like closer to me, and wasn't quite near the door. And I stopped dead in my tracks. I've never really been sort of to the point where I'm stopped and shocked, but I was very just like, and I made sure I double checked. I was like, double checked with my past thoughts. I did not move that box. That box was wedged in there. There hadn't been an extreme, ridiculously strong gust of wind that would have been strong enough to move and unwedge that box out of the way to then close the doors, both of them. And these are quite stiff, awkward doors. Like, this one has to be sort of held up as the other one gets slammed to, yeah. So I was like, I'm not even going there. It's probably just the wind. I probably kicked the box out of the way, even though I knew I hadn't. There is a chance, you never know. Could have had a lapse, could have happened. So I walked past the door towards the stable and was like, I'm closing that back door, because there's clearly some form of draft coming through that is causing weird shit. So I went through the stables towards the back door, and that was closed. It was wedged down, it was shut. So I opened that and was a bit, I wasn't scared though. I was a bit more baffled, but I wasn't scared. The buildings I'm working in don't have any lights, and with it being quite stormy and windy, it wasn't really light. But I opened the door, looked to the left. There's like a tiny little gap here, but it is filled with like stuff in storage, and there's no way that anyone could have been there. And then I looked down the alleyway. There was no one there, obviously. Slowly walked, just in case there's a rat or anything there. I didn't want to scare the shit out of it and then that make me jump. So I walked slowly towards the door that was open. I looked behind the door, there was nothing there. And the weird thing was, even though there was a breeze in the room, there wasn't much of a breeze there at all. So I checked the door, checked to see if someone had left it opened or anything, like if the latch was up, and there was nothing. So I don't know, I just closed it and was like, there's got to be a logical explanation. Closed it, shoved the latch down, and it is quite stiff, so you can't just gently tap it and the latch come up and it swing open. You've got to give it a good whack, because it's obviously had thick coats of paint on it, things like that. And I made sure it was definitely closed, tried to wiggle the latch, it's not easy to move. Turned back around, went back out the alley, little alley, closed the stables, and was like, I don't know. I then reopened the doors, picked up the box, forgot how heavy it was, and was like, ugh, put that back inside, because now at this point it was raining. I didn't want those mangoes to get ruined. So, and then I just sort of left the doors to do their own thing. And I just got on with what I was doing. And it's weird because I didn't feel scared. I felt a bit uneasy, as in like, how the hell did that happen? But I definitely didn't feel scared. I've never felt scared or uncomfortable while working on the farm. It doesn't feel homely, as in like it feels like my home, but it feels quite homely. There's nothing horrible about it. I don't get any weird feelings that there's any bad juju there or whatever. So it was just a very weird thing to happen. Part of me is like, there is a logical explanation for this. It must have been the wind. It must have been this. It must have been that. But then part of me is like, yeah, but I know full well that door was closed a few weeks ago and that no one's really been around there. The only thing that could have happened is someone had been around there and opened the door and not put the latch on properly, and then the wind has just gently blown it open. But it's quite a heavy door. Like, I would have heard it open and I didn't. So yeah, I don't know. And I definitely can't explain how the two doors did close and how that box was just away from the door. Because in that time that I walked around to the bin and back, and checked into the glass, no one else on the farm was around. So I don't know, I have no idea what happened. What do you think happened? Because I don't have a clue. Do you think it is literally just my mind playing tricks on me because I've been researching spooky stuff, I've been thinking about doing this series? Do you think it was just a coincidence that the timing just happened as I want to do this series, that something weird happened? Or do you genuinely think that was something not of this world? Either way, I'm going back tomorrow. I don't feel uncomfortable going back to the farm. It was just a weird thing to happen. If I go back there though and that friggin' door is open, I will be a little bit scared. So to kick off this series, I thought I would share that with you. Just thought it was so bizarre thinking that I had planned to sit down and read other people's experiences and then this happened. I don't know, take from this what you want. I don't really have an explanation, but knowing that I don't feel scared kind of makes me feel okay. I didn't get any bad vibes, so that doesn't really bother me. I feel comfortable going back there. It's just a bit of a weird thing to happen. Let me know down below what you think happened, because there's got to be some form of explanation for it, right? I am actually hoping to have this as a little series, just because I love watching these videos in the minute and I'd like to take part. I'd like to share people's scary stories. I'd like to scare the shit out of myself while reading these scary stories. If you have a scary story that you want to share with me, feel free to head on over to my Instagram and drop me a message. I'd love to hear it, and if you'd like me to share it, I'd love to share it. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. Please give it a massive thumbs up, leave me a comment down below and subscribe if you are not. I'll leave all my social media link down below as well, so feel free to head on over there and check me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.